Hey everybody, and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel where we'll be playing some games and talking some comics. So for our first video, I'm going to be playing some Call of Duty Warzone while we discuss one of my all-time favorite comics, Marvel Universe versus the Punisher. This was written by Jonathan Mawberry and drawn by Goran Parlov. It was published all the way back in October of 2010 and it contains 4 issues. We're going to kick it off with issue number 1. Okay, so we open up with the Punisher running around a ravaged New York City while hunting and or being hunted by a seriously messed up Deadpool. Now, I should mention, this isn't a normal hunt for Frank. Things are a little different. After killing Deadpool for the 33rd time, Frank begins to reminisce about how the world came to be the way it is now. It starts out as any other day, with Spidey and Rhino beating the crap out of each other. Spidey drops Rhino right into the middle of a hockey game before proceeding to eat him in front of 20,000 people. Everything else just kind of falls apart from there. After Spidey, the villain known as the Blob went on a rampage and ate a bunch of people. Next was a school bus full of kids that attacked a shopping mall. After that, the ladies from The View attacked the audience, and Daredevil killed and ate a couple of nuns. From there, everything went from bad to worse. Infection spread like wildfire, and well, here we are. Now, you're probably thinking that these are just some mindless zombies hungry for human flesh, but that's not actually the case. According to Reed Richards, they aren't dead at all, but instead gone cannibalistic. Kind of like the Crazies meets 28 Days Later. Anyway, the infected, or the Crazies as I call them, have kept enough of their intelligence to actually start forming tribes. One of those tribes was led by the Thing from the Fantastic Four. Frank mentions it took him over a year to finally take him out. He had to bring the Baxter building down on top of him and everything. Man, I wish we could have seen that fight. Anyway, it turns out the Thing isn't the worst monster out there. Frank's been hunting a crazy he refers to as Zero. Zero is smarter than all the rest, and he can't seem to get the drop on him. That's pretty unusual considering he was able to take out Daredevil. It's almost like Zero has some sort of sense that warns him of danger. If that wasn't bad enough, Zero seems to be leaving traps for Frank. Frank, of course, notices this and proceeds with extreme caution. So, I guess the big question is, how the hell did this happen, and how was the Punisher, of all people, still alive? Well, according to Frank, he was taking down what he thought was a bunch of thugs conducting a weapons deal. Frank busts in and starts taking down everybody in sight, because that's what he does. In the scuffle, the case breaks open, and it's empty. Turns out the goons didn't read the instruction manual and had the vials sitting in their pockets. Pockets that Frank put a ton of bullets through. Yeah, not good. Frank gets a face full of concentrated virus and gets sick immediately afterwards. Frank mentions that after that, He never ever got sick again. No flu, no head cold, no anything. The eggheads thought that the concentrated blast he got must have made him immune to, well, everything. So while the rest of the world went crazy, Frank became its only survivor, and this whole mess is his to clean up. One super-powered, tight-wearing cannibal at a time. And that's the end of issue 1. I love this story. It's one of my all-time favorite comics, but I can't remember how I stumbled upon this story. I think I saw someone post the shot where Frank has his gun to Cap's head on page 10, and I was mind blown. It got my attention for sure, and I'm glad I was able to find the story. I mean, I guess I'm just a sucker for shock value, but still, I'm a big fan. It's interesting to me to see the different ways all the heroes fell. This issue didn't show too much, but trust me, as we get going, we'll get to see quite a bit more. I love how it's the Punisher that's left alive and not one of your typical heroes. To me, it makes the story way more interesting. If it was Spiderman or any of the core Avengers, it would turn into a save the world kind of story. Frank isn't here to save the world, and even if he was, there isn't a world left to save. Frank's here to punish, and to me, that's why he's the perfect character. Another thing I really liked is how Frank talks to the reader through his wardrobe. We missed out on a whole apocalypse, and this is his way of filling us in. I'm not usually a fan of, you're probably wondering how I got here, flashback type stories, but all the flashbacks are really well done and are placed in the perfect spots. It gives us just enough information to be curious without giving too much away. Now, as far as the art goes, I enjoyed the art quite a bit. It's bright when it has to be, but for the most part, it fits the dark tone. It does lack sharp detail, but I don't think it's needed. It's got a story that hooks you in no matter what the art looks like. And even though we see some blood and a few heads on sticks, it's not super gory. I feel like that would take away from the story too much. It has just the right amount for the tone of the series. In the end, this is a very plot-driven story with some added shock to it. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, but hey, that's the beauty of the internet. So there you have it. Issue 1 is in the books. Let me know what you thought of the first issue down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Until next time.